Well, this is Bo. He is a 32-year-old stallion that has had significant digestive problems for a long time. And I've been adjusting him a few times, and his digestive system has had significant improvements. He's starting to put on weight, and he also had the problem of not being able to move around. Seemed very stiff all the time and just was not comfortable moving. Since being adjusted, he moves significantly better. So now we're going to go and actually demonstrate the VOM procedure, where this is a diagnostic pass. This is where we find out if, where he has pathological reads. And that is where, when we get to a pathological read, you will see it because it will be illustrated by a twitch. The horse will actually twitch, and we'll know that there's nerve interference and a subluxation at that level. And then we'll go through and do therapeutic passes to correct that. So I'm going to begin at the top at his atlas, and I do it there, and there's not much of a pathological read there at all. And we do it on the right side as well. Then we go all the way down the left side, because everything is done on a horse typically from the left side. And you see that was a pathological read. Did you see how that moved? He had a twitch. There again, there was another twitch. And not so bad. That was another small one. But keep in mind, he's been adjusted. This is probably his third or fourth adjustment. But there is a pathological read there. And that's a big one at C7. Okay? Not much there. Now we're going to go and we're going to evaluate the withers. And we'll start at the top. There you go, there's a pathological read there. Another one. The withers have a tendency to have lots of problems most all the time. And that's an area that will cause problems in the front legs, and it can also cause problems down at T5 for digestive issues. That's a big one for digestive issues. I'm not finding much in here now, but keep in mind, we've been adjusting him 4 or 5 times. So we've cleared out many of the pathological reads already. There we went. That was a pathological read. See how he just bounced. That's one for him now. We're going through the bottom of the lumbars into the sacrum area. A lot of times if a horse has a problem with his tail, the sacrum will be affected. He did have a problem with his tail previous to this, but I've corrected that. Now we're going to go and check his hips. They were trouble before, they're not now. Well, actually a little bit of a read on the right here. You can see how it drops. See that? That's a pathological read for his right hip. He fell 3 days ago, and he had trouble getting up. Again, as we say, he's a 32-year-old stallion, so he's an old buck. And that's the diagnostic pass. As you can see, we had some more pathological reads in through the neck. And that's the most common area because they do a lot of twisting. People pull on the horse left and right, and they end up with cervical spasms in here, which I'll show you. I'm gonna do some muscle work on him in a little bit. But that was the pathological reads that were in here. And now we're going to go and start to correct those. So we go again. And as you can see, there was nothing on the atlas. And on the other side, really either. Typically, they'll have more problems on the left side in the atlas and a corresponding right hip problem. And I find that quite frequently. See, now we have, that's the double click correction, and that proves when you fire it twice and it still reads, that means that it's a chronic problem. Been there for a long time. But he's gotten some really good results, and I'll have the owner will be, see, you can see the withers again. There's some problems. And but we're working to correct them. And all the time when I do this, the horse has a significant amount of flatulence, otherwise known as relieving gas. But you can see we still didn't have much in here at all, because some of those have been corrected already. Not much in through here. His major problems, as I have said, are in his neck and in his withers. And we had the problem, see, now let's see. We've already made some correction in that right hip. It's not nearly as bad as it was. He was dropping before, if you noticed. Now he's not dropping like he was. So we started making more correction there. There's no problem back there. Now we're going to go through for a third therapeutic pass to try to make some more corrections on the pathological reads. And really, because there's no problem with the atlas, there's no need to do that again. Now the reads, if you can see, are less. They're not nearly as much as they were. A good 50% less, I would say, except on that one. That one's still pretty much alive, but that's a big one. C6 is a problem for virtually every horse, because, like I say, people are pulling on the reins all the time. Now you can see that the withers have less pathological reads. There still is some, but they're less than they were. And we're just going through. But as I say, there wasn't really anything we found in here, so there's virtually actually no need for me to do this, but I'm doing it for demonstration purposes at this point. Now, he had that one pretty live in here, remember? It's significantly less. Remember how he dropped as we started? Now, go over to the right, and it's, I would say that's a good 50% less of a read than there was before. And there was nothing on the pelvis at that point. So that's the diagnostic pass with the therapeutic passes to make the corrections on the pathological reads, as you saw that they would be improved.